right, we're getting ourselves set up here. We're getting ready to go. We're actually live right now. You should be able to hear my voice. This is Anthony Brian Logan. I'm here with Kevin Samuels. We're gonna have a good show tonight.
Hey guys.
I'll let the stream pile in for about 2 to 3 minutes. Let everybody come on in. Get yourself comfortable. Get you something good to eat, cold to drink. We're gonna have a good show tonight. Shout out to Keith Bloom in there. Freedom Work. I see you. Christian Jr. I see you in the chat.
Cool.
All right.
Put this thing on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Do that. Prince Christian, Dan Dude, 2010, Mr. Spinks, Isaac Robles. What's going on?
Cool.
All right. I'm gonna just put this link out to a few people. Facebook, Twitter. Let's see. All right. Shout out to Andrew Roll, Virginia Beach. T-Pain, I see you. Mr. Shark, Angel. Yes, join the Discord. Let me see. Is a link in the description box? Yes, the link is in the description box. Thank you for that, Isaac. Hey, shout out to O'Shea. Yeah, big up. He's in here dropping that Poland money.
There you go.
No doubt. And you guys in the chat, let me know if you can hear Kevin in the background.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2.
Yeah,
hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, I see you coming up on the desktop audio. Like I got a little mixer right here on OBS, so they should be able to hear you. I just want to make sure they're able to hear. All right, cool. Underdog Anomaly.
Let me see.
Yep, they can hear you. Good.
Cool. We're on about a 30-second delay.
Maybe not quite that much because I got it on low latency, so it's a little bit of a delay. Probably about 5 to 10 seconds, maybe.
Okay, cool, man. Wow. We got a lot of folks piling in here, man.
Oh yeah. It's like this, because people come in. I got a lot of regulars that come in for the ABL Live, the Wednesday and Saturday. A lot of good people, and I'm already getting calls. But y'all hold on, y'all hold tight because we ain't started the show yet.
Somebody said that was too loud, so I backed up. Is that better? Am I too loud? I don't think so. We will let it see how it goes. You got a long way in the call queue. I told you, man, this is a hot topic. Sad that we have to talk about it, but hey.
Yeah, but it's got to get talked about at a certain point because
yes, it does.
It does. People they want to. It's something that it's like a kind of a recurring theme. It always gets brought up, so it's just like, why not just have a show dedicated to just that?
That very much so. And I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised at how many people actually sent me inboxes and text messages, letter after letter after letter saying, I know exactly what you mean. Can you do part 2? And I did a show Tuesday night entitled, Am I Black Too? And even with that, I still have more people coming in saying, I grew up this way. And I said, it's going to be on us to reclaim what it means to be black and male in this country. The fact that gangster rap and all this other stuff has came in and, however we got here, we're here.
That's right.
The us's of the world, we got to say enough and combat the Pookies and the Ray Rays because I'll be doggone, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. Tired of it.
I'm with you. So we are live now. You can see that we got the logo off. It's just, with both of us talking. But see the whole thing. I'm with you on that, and it's got to stop. If people don't know what we're talking about, if they're just coming into the stream and they didn't see the preview video, basically what we're going to talk about today is, the struggles of being a black male conservative or a black conservative in general, if you're female, and just what we go through by being black, and then having people that are against us just because we're black. Like, we can't be positive, we can't be forward thinking, we can't be productive people, we can't think differently. And what he was talking about, what Kevin was talking about, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the bad people in the black community, for some reason they get praised, they get treated like kings, but those of us that are doing the right thing somehow do not get treated that way. So that's going to be the main topic of tonight.
Yeah, I'd like everybody to think back to the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All American, good, clean, wholesome fun. But think about when you say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you think of the Will Smith character you think of the Carlton character. The Will Smith character came from Philly, streets, funny, such and so forth. But the Carlton character was the character that a lot of people resonated with, but they made jokes up about him because he was corny, because he wanted to go to a good school, because he spoke proper English, because he had the nerve to be politically informed and wanted to do something with himself. He was the butt of every joke. And for a lot of folks, that was just humor. But for many of us in the Black community, that's how we live. We're the butt of every joke. We're not considered to be men. You know, it's almost like, you know, they don't use the term Oreo, but I say we're too white for the Black community by their standards. And who decided that?
Right.
Who decided that? But yet we get labeled with that moniker to the point to where people just keep their head down, because we get to the point where you're like, well, that's just the way it is. And when you start doing that, the Pookies and the Ray Rays of the world win, because we've just taken a back seat. And what we want to do is start having a conversation saying, well, wait a minute. If you've ever felt this way, you've ever had to physically dumb yourself down, hood your language up, whatever, so you can fit in, it's time for you to actually start using your voice and saying enough is enough. Let people know that we're out here. And because I actually think we outnumber them, we just don't talk about it.
That's right. I think we do. We most certainly do. It's like we're scared to. We're scared to come out and talk about, you know, how we are, how we want to be, because of the shame and tactics and stuff like that. But there's more of us. Just a regular everyday guy going to work every day, doing what we got to do. There's more of us than it is of those that want to work against us. So all we got to do is just speak up. We're the silent majority. All we got to do is speak up and just let ourselves be known.
You know, I'm reading a comment at the last video I had, and it was this is why every time I think about expressing myself openly, I remember that people hate the truth and originality. And so I go back into my shell. And that's the thing, that man said, you know what, every time I think about doing this, I know people aren't going to like it, so I stop. Or you'll see a lot of men talking about, you know, I'm a smart guy, and people will think I'm lame. You know, walking around editing themselves to fit this narrative that we didn't create. I didn't create this narrative. And I remember in 89 and 91, when gangster rap really took off. I left college one spring and came back in the fall, and women wanted corporate thugs. And I was like,
like, what is that? What does that mean?
I know. I'm like, what is a corporate thug? And I had it was on a relationship panel, and women were sitting back here. Now, mind you, some of these women have gone on to argue before the Supreme Court. But some of these very women say, yeah, I want a man who can go out and take care of his business, make moves, but then at home, have to come home from work, know how to handle business. I'm like, that's just a man. But they wanted this chic Tupac thing, and I think a big part of the problem is, like I said, a lot of us as young men, we were learning our way and not so busy doing our thing. And look up, it's out of hand. But the silent majority has to speak up, and I think conversations like this help, because seeing two guys actually who don't agree on everything, but agree on this central point. I've said this to ABL before. There are a lot of people on YouTube who love to come at you for various different reasons, but I always ask the same question. Would you rather have ABL, a neighborhood of ABLs, or would you rather have a neighborhood of Pookies and Ray Rays? Because you can't have both. Who do you want next door to you? What do you want in your neighborhood? And who would you want your daughter to bring home?
That's right. I mean, you said it perfectly right there, because, a lot of us, people like myself and yourself, many other people in the chat, we get labeled with the whole coon, Uncle Tom, sellout, house Negro, all this and that. But it's like, okay, where's all the anger? Where's all the vitriol towards people that are actually hurting the community every single day in the Black community? The people that really need to be reprimanded for some reason don't. Like, what's going on? Maybe it's they're scared of them. Maybe they think that somehow they deserve sympathy. Maybe they don't want them to get better. I can't really, but I think the people that are like in civil rights, a lot of politicians, I think there's a famous quote from Booker T. Washington, if I'm not mistaken, there's a class of Black people out there that do not want the patient to get better, because if they do get better, then they'll lose their jobs. If people, if they get off the street and to make something of themselves, they would no longer be useful. So at a certain point, maybe they're out here, treating people like pawns, like useful idiots, having them do their bidding so they're able to keep going, they're able to keep getting money. That's how it is with a lot of politicians. They want to have people right where they want them so they're able to continue to manipulate them and do whatever they want.
You know, I remember when growing up. I was born in 1969, for anybody who cares. So I'm 48 years old. As soon as I could register to vote, I registered Republican. And an entire family full of Democrats, Baptist upbringing, you know, church, very family oriented in the church, and so forth. People ask me, why in the heck would you register for Republican? Your family's Democrat. I'm like, yeah, you are. But I believe in smaller government, laissez-faire economics. I'm a hustler. I'll make it. I wanted to go to medical school at the time, and I had never cast a vote before. I took so much heat for registering as a Republican. And at the time, it was me, J.C. Watts, and somebody else. There wasn't a lot of black male Republicans in Oklahoma. But what I noticed is everyone wanted to register Democrat because it was an easier feeling. But they would go vote, and then they'd leave. And I'm like, the Democrats aren't on your side. These social programs make you feel good, but so does alcohol and cigarettes and drugs. Eventually, you got to get on with life. And that's where a lot of conservative thought runs amok with a lot of people on the left, because it's harder. It's a harder path. It's honorable. It's morals. There are rules and standards. And it's easier to live a life that's unaccountable, especially if you came from a background where you may have been raised by a single parent like I was, a background where, you know, people expected less of you. It's comfortable, but it doesn't help you. And there's something inside of each and every man that says, I don't like this. I want to kill what I eat. I want to do better. And when we decide to actually say, I want these things, the group would rather pull us back down. So it takes us a lot of effort and strength to break free. And then when we're free, we're out here on our own. And then we get called all those beautiful names, which I'm going to let ABL kind of go in on right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, the names we get called, like, I'd have been called so many different names. Like, usually on the internet, especially, that's the main place. People feel like they have the shield of anonymity. They have confidence. They're able to say how they feel in their hearts without actually saying it to my face. You know, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3", over 200 pounds. So I'm not the kind of guy you just want to come up and say anything to. So they feel like they can do it on the internet. They're able, really, I think a lot of that is like their own personal insecurity and what they've been told their whole life. Maybe they're not really where they want to be in life. So then they rely on what they've been taught their whole life, or what they think is a correct thing, by coming at a person like me. But like I was saying, they don't want to come at the real people that actually mean them harm. It's really kind of a crazy culture, and it keeps us behind. It keeps us in a state of dependency. So that's why I think this hangout right now is good. And I'm gonna get to a few callers here because the phone line is blowing up right now. I'm gonna get to a few calls. So because people been, you know, they've been messaging me. They've been talking about, I definitely want to call in. I got a story to tell. So I'm going to try this first number, and then we're going to see how it works out with the group chat here.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Kevin, you there? Okay. Hold on. Let's get Kevin back on the line. All right, Kevin, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, I'm messing up here. I got to add the person to group call. So let's see how that works.
Okay.
All right, 504, can you hear me? 504. 504.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, Kevin, can you say something right quick?
Let me turn this down.
Hey.
All right, can you hear Kevin?
Yes. This is me, ABL, Kevin, right here. He said let him turn it down.
Yes.
All right.
How you doing? I've been trying to get in touch with you. I made a few comments, and I think. Okay, Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caller,
Yes.
you got to talk, man.
Oh man, yes. How you doing? Yes. How you doing?
All right,
You
caller,
hear me?
are you listening to are you watching the stream or talking to us on the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to us on the phone, not the stream.
I just deleted it off there.
Okay, so talk to us on the phone. What's going on?
My thing is, I'm not a black conservative. I say I'm a liberal, and I really don't call myself either or because I figure I listen to everybody, and I also listen to you. Because I ran across your channel one day listening to something you said about one of the shootings, and my problem is like I'm from New Orleans, but I'm in Washington State now, and everybody sounds white, everybody black. So to have somebody like you say that, and you say we talk down on somebody like you is, I think it's absurd. It's the actions, is the things that people say, and I hear you say a lot of things that I think is negative on black folks that will make a person like me talk down on you.
Okay. So
it's
what?
Not that,
so what do I say? Like, give me an example of what I say that will make you talk down on me.
Okay, example like Colin Kaepernick. You says you put the terminology like, well, he's protesting against shooting of black unarmed men. Well, what would be wrong about that? Okay, in a black neighborhood, I agree. My neighborhoods in New Orleans are some are dangerous. I don't even believe in guns, and my family is outdoorsmen. And I used to gangbang, sell drugs, but I never really believed in carrying guns because I believe in guns kill. My thing is, when you say things like you would say, I agree with some of the things you say. I agree with that. But when you come out and seem like every video I look at and see, you will talk of something positive, but then you'll go off the rim about somebody which is your black folks, which is your own skin color, and that's my problem with you.
But you didn't really give me a good example. So basically, Colin Kaepernick, like, what did I say that you really didn't agree with?
That he shouldn't be protesting the way he protesting, or Jamel Hill. All right, you put out videos, right? You will put out videos.
Okay, but hold on, because we doing a lot. We doing a lot. Like we gotta just one thing at a time. Okay, so with Colin Kaepernick, my point was that my whole thing with him was the anti-patriotism, kneeling before the national anthem, and he's doing it while he's in the NFL stadium. Like me personally, I don't like to have my politics and my sports meshed together. And the whole thing about being unpatriotic, the NFL was built on patriotism. So you're doing yourself a disservice when you go against that, which your job is based on. And people got a problem with that. You got a lot of veterans. My father was a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran. I was not in the military, but I'm very patriotic. So I just didn't like it from that point of view. And Jamel Hill, the thing with her is that she was doing something that could get her fired if she was just a different political affiliation. Kurt Schilling did something similar and got fired. And it was one guy.
But he also did repeatedly.
Hold on. I got something for you. Hold on.
You never bring those up, though.
Sir. Now I got something for you. It was one guy that was talking about, I think it was either Venus or Serena Williams, and he said that she had a guerrilla style of play. He was not calling her a gorilla. He was saying guerrilla style as in how she plays the game. And for that, he got fired. He was not a repeat offender. You see, they're selective with how they.
No. Hold on. Hold on, caller. Let me ask this one question. Let me just ask this one question. Well, let me make a statement and ask a question. One of the first things I heard you say is, I'm from New Orleans, but I'm in Washington, and people up here talk white. Let's move that over to the side.
Okay.
What positive things do you see that ABL and I represent to the black male community?
I haven't heard none of your. I never been to your YouTube channel to hear you, but I will check you up. And this is what things I do. But the if I say positive, you're saying the positive things. I don't see nothing. Well, okay, so positive if.
The stream is entitled "The Journey of a Black Conservative" featuring Kevin Samuel. So I'm not disputing your right to say what you have, but I'm just asking, do you see anything good? Because I have people from
I don't see nothing good coming out. out of like I said, I haven't really heard anything from you, so I'm only speaking on ABL. I only could go by what he's saying. Like he would, like the marches in Charlottesville. He got people on there and it's egging me because I'm like, wait a minute, you telling something, but you only tell it for one side. Like, are you serious?
So wait a minute.
I'm like,
hold on, just a second. You say he only says it from one side. Is it the problem? Is it the problem that he actually says it from one side, or is it that he says it? Because I just asked. Hold on, because I just asked you, what do you see positive that ABL is doing, and you said nothing. A broke clock is right twice a day. So if you can find the things that he says wrong as a man, especially as a black man who has a critique against another one, I would hope you could at least find something that he does right to at least put some balance.
I understand. He got certain things like the abortion thing. I agree with that on that. I agree with that.
Good. Okay.
But he also goes when you talk about the black man and the Black Lives Matter marches, and I'm really not a marcher. I really don't, say, but I respect what they're doing. But to say you put one person in a group that did something, and you put two people that's in a group that's probably wasn't even part of the group, but you putting in there that they're part of that group, and you putting that every single time. You took an incident from one incident that happened in at the fan this year, pigs on blankets, like that happened one time somewhere, and you threw that on every single episode. You talk about ABL. I mean, you talk about Black Lives Matter. You throw that in there, and that.
Hold on. What did I throw? I didn't hear what you said.
You throw like the saying that you caught pigs in a blanket fry, whatever saying they used to say. They said they said that probably one time somebody said that, but you take that saying and throw it into every bunch and saying they're criminals. They did.
Well, how about that's one incident of many. Sir, you gotta relax. Hold on, sir. You gotta relax.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my thing about that was just one time. That was one incident, but I've named other incidents too.
No.
Hold on. Let me finish. I've named Michael Xavier Johnson in Dallas, Texas, where he killed 5 police officers, and he was emboldened by Black Lives Matter. When the police went in there to try to apprehend him, he was talking about Black Lives Matter. That was some of his final words. And then you had the guy Gavin Eugene Long down there where you are in Baton Rouge, right? Ain't too far from New Orleans, right? And he killed 2 or 3 officers. One of them was black, right? So why not? Like, I'm talking about those people and the kind of rhetoric they push out. See, it's a sense of sickness.
The group pushed that out. You saying the group pushed out? That's not true.
But who pushes it out then?
You know when I feel that because I have police brutality. I saw police brutality out there. We saw that out there, and you put it out there like they should not fight for that. Those people should fight for that.
Fighting how? How are they?
Fight. If they could fight anyway, how? That's how they should be.
So should they kill police officers?
Excuse me. Hold on, both you guys. You're very passionate about saying that they should fight for that, right? The people out there, Black Lives Matter, they should fight the way they need to fight because they believe in something, right?
Yes.
So are we.
There you go.
Yes. Okay.
So we can be. So hold on. Let me just make another point. So are we. But do you also understand that there are more people who are ready to throw stones at us I'm just saying things that my grandfather, 1919, born in Turkey Creek, Oklahoma. That was a conservative man, Baptist, everything else. He taught me to be what I am. He believed in the patriotism. He fought in World War II. He was a Navy man. We're fighting for things that we believe also, because at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is passion, but what I'm not hearing is balance.
I hear that. I understand that. That's why I took a lot of things from my own life, and I just finished technical school just to make something better of myself. I'm in a whole new state. I only been here a year and a half. I'm trying something new. But to hear people like him saying like these black people not, and they're going through this, and they're not this, and like their father figure's not there, and they're gonna turn out like this. This is what I'm getting out the videos. Okay. This is why I'm mad. I'm not. Okay, I even listen to Rush Limbaugh. I listen to everybody, and I have an objective, and I have a good opinion about somebody or something everybody says. But when you a black man that says them things, and I'm seated and I'm listening, come on.
Hold on.
You're not helping.
Okay. Whoa. Hold on. Now, I think you will admit that we grew up. I don't know. I'm 48 years old, and
I'm
here's
39.
the thing: we are not accustomed in the black community to talk about our issues. You certainly can't talk about the problems in the community. We want to try to keep all that in the attic like we kept Uncle Leo. Sometimes you have to talk about the stuff, and you keep thinking, people like you. Who do you see when you see ABL or me? Because you're talking about him. The vitriol I'm getting.
I see.
Say it.
Not. You know what we see around the corner.
Go ahead.
When we talk about each other, But that's not the thing that I'm getting at. If you want to say let's get our black folks and let's educate them, let's get them on these jobs. That's what I want to hear.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't want to hear a downgrade of they born in Boston because they shot some black kids.
Sir, I gotta ask you a question from the chat.
Yeah.
Someone says, did you have a father growing up?
Father growing up like
in your house with you, 2-parent household. Did you have a father growing up in your house?
Yeah, I had a father, but not a stepfather.
So you say
stepfather.
Yeah, stepfather. Okay. Now, like, where's your biological father? Are you in contact with him? Like, what's going on with?
Yeah, every now and then we get in. We talk. That's what it is. Now he stays somewhere else, and I live here.
Is it a good relationship?
Yeah. Well, we have a good relationship. He probably don't have that with his other kids, but we have a good relationship. I figure we do. Was
it always like that, or did it have to, later in life become good?
No, it was always like this. It was always good. I always had my father. Always had, like my grandma had 9 kids. All of them turned out good. So everybody.
Okay.
So that's not the thing. The thing is,
make a final point. I gotta get to a few more calls.
Okay, okay. My thing is, if you're going to talk about the black community and the black folks, have a positive thing and not a negative thing all the time, or trying to find a negative thing to figure out the solution that you're trying to get the narrative of. That's all. Thank y'all.
Thank you for the call.
Thanks a lot, caller. Okay.
All right. Let's try to get the next call on here. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is Carl Taylor once again. Hey, Kevin, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I know you kind of rushing through the chat and Discord and everything, but Kevin, I had a question specifically for you. And you're from Oklahoma City, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you know Eddie Huff?
Excuse me? I didn't hear the last name.
Eddie Huff.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was just wondering if you heard of him, because you and ABL are talking about black conservative men and everything like that, and I was just curious.
Okay.
But I think, for me, my background when it comes to like black and conservatism, I mean, my parents, we actually originally from New York, moved here to Oklahoma. When God called the ministry and what have you. That's how I came here. And I kind of grew up first about 9 years in the projects. Then I moved into apartment, then eventually to the house in 2003, and grew up with the determination of we need to get our first house. We're not depending on the government. We're not depending upon handouts and gimmies. And my parents, they used to be Democrats during the Carter era, but they switched to becoming Reagan Republicans, and they became more Republican at like around the time that I was born and everything, what have you. And I kind of really, for me, my personal experience, really just my desire was just to be intelligent, like my dad. I had a dad in my life, both parents in my life. I wanted to make the most of that, and even in the future, I want to just bring people to think that being black doesn't necessarily mean that you can't speak proper. You can,
That's right.
I get black for even my name myself, but I don't want to kind of run on. But they call me Carlton, Carl's Jr. or something like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get all those names. Carlton. I'm like, no, my name's not Carlton. And they keep asking me, do the Carlton. That's my job. But yeah, I think for me, it's always, I joke around, I'm like, I'm the whitest black guy you know.
Right.
And I think the biggest problem with, because I get in arguments with, like political arguments with a couple people, particular guy that I know that just, he thinks like, I guess like more traditionally, like inner city, he didn't have a father in his life, a father figure in his life. So
I got to ask you a question. Do you think that being conservative has helped your life, or has it hurt it, or is it a combination of both? Like, what's going on with that?
Oh, it helps. Most certainly helps. I mean, yeah, it all depends on what you count as hurt, to be honest with you. All this identity of black, white, I didn't think of myself as a black person who happens to be American. I thought of myself as an American who happens to be a black person.
That's right.
You know.
Right.
And just to keep it short, because I know this is kind of exploded callers, but I think the most important thing is right now is we need to come up with like what Ben's doing at Berkeley. We got to be determined. We won't be silent, but we won't be violent at the same time. We can't regress, and we can't get, resign. We got to constantly keep making the case, kind of like to your previous caller, kind of keep making the case. When there's an emotional argument, counter it with facts. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for the call.
You know, I will. Is that another caller?
Oh, we got more callers, but you can go ahead and say what you got to,
I will notice that I want everybody to hear that when you hear people talk about how I was called Carlton and this, such and so forth, we laugh that off, guys, but that's painful for a lot of black men to have to do that, because honestly, some of the most hostile treatment we get is internal in our own community.
That's right. It really is. People talk about racism, all these kind of different things, but it's like, I'm not too much worried about that. I'm worried about people that live right next door to me, so-called friends, family. You get treated the worst from them sometimes, and it's really unfortunate. It shouldn't be like that, but that's just kind of what happens.
It's true. So cool. Got another caller?
Oh yeah. Now, can you did I turn your video off? Like, what's going on?
I should still be here.
Nah, you don't have video. Okay.
There we go. I'm still here.
Okay, I can hear you, but there's no video. What I'm gonna do?
I'm gonna check my settings again, make sure we still up.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna hang up and call you back. Or just, I'm gonna hang up and then call me right back, and you should have video back on.
Okay, hang up and call you back.
Yeah, I'm hang up you, then you call me back.
Okay.
All right, we should be able to get him back with video. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Definitely appreciate it. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, we got you. We got you with video. Cool.
All right. Yes, it's how I dress every day.
No doubt. All right, let's get the next caller.
All right. Yes, it's how I dress every day.
Hold on, 818. I'm having technical difficulties here. Hold on 1 second. Don't do it yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Kevin back on the call as far as in the group chat. So are you there?
Oh, okay. I'm here.
Okay. Now we're gonna get Kevin back, and hopefully he can get on the group chat with us. Thank y'all for being here. Much appreciated. All right. See, this shouldn't be like this. It should be able to. He should be able to be in the group.
There we go.
All right.
Kevin,
Hello.
This is Kevin.
Okay. Because I'm trying. What I'm trying to do is get people on the group chat to be able to have more people on at once. But for some reason, it's not really working out the way I want it to.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm good now. Sorry for the call. I think that was a regular caller, and I had to hang up on her. But we get back to her. Call back if you're listening to me. D.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Hello?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, you guys are you guys on the call at the same time? Can you guys hear each other?
Hello?
Y'all talk. Can you hear each
Hello?
other?
Yeah,
but
I heard somebody.
I'm not the guy that was just on the screen. I'm a new caller.
All right, y'all gonna have to hold on.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
very sorry. Because what I'm trying to do is do a lot right here with a little bit of technology.
Gotcha.
Okay, what I think I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna add. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna get Kevin back, but I'm gonna ask you guys. You tell me your experience with the black community, with conservatism. I'm gonna start with D. That's you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about your experience with the black community.
Well, my story is very unique because I grew up with a single mom, but my mom was a very hardworking person. Some of you in the chat might know that. My mom was in the Air Force for 10 years. She grew up with parents. She grew up with both parents, and she was raised, like, she had kids when she was like in her teens. She had 3 kids by the time she was in college. And she had me like pretty much 14, 15 years later right after. It's funny because the year before she got out of the Air Force, and then that next year she had me. So anyways, basically I grew up my whole life. I sound like a Valley girl. Everybody called me the Valley girl, Oreo. I never been called a coon. I've never been called any of the Uncle Toms. It was more the typical Valley girl, white girl, Oreo, all types of stuff, just simple stuff. But, I mean, when I was young, I was actually more of a centrist liberal, if that makes any sense. I was kind of like, because my mom was a Republican, my dad was a Democrat, and of course I was an Obama supporter the first time he became president. But I started learning a lot of things in my life. I guess I've seen many things that wasn't right about our former president, our president at the time. And it was really weird because I was just like, what is he doing? Like, why is he doing this? It doesn't make any sense. But then I realized the whole Black Lives Matter thing came, and I think it was a Trayvon thing, and then the Black Lives Matter. That's when I realized, I can't really agree with this liberal agenda anymore. This is just getting too ridiculous. It's one thing to cry about stuff that makes sense, but it's another thing to go overboard and blame the white people and do this and this. And it's like, you're crying wolf. Like, I don't understand why do we have to play the victim mentality? And I was so tired of it. I was so tired of the drama and just the nonsense. And it was to a point where I said, okay, I'm an independent, but I'm a bit more conservative as an independent. So I guess I started, opening my mind to other, opinions. And even though there are times where I disagree with them, I learned how to open myself and listen to other people's opinions. And that's kind of how I grew up. My life was very different. I moved all over the place. I never really lived. Well, actually, I did one time live in a Black neighborhood, but most of the time I actually lived around mostly Asians. I lived in Koreatown, I lived in Chinatown, and it was really cool. I actually enjoyed being around Asians. It was really awesome. Because I grew up all over LA. But to keep it short, on this particular thing, my life was interesting, but you know, I guess I can say that it's sad what other people are going through, and it's a shame because I just really, it's such a shame how Black people would put people down. Even I went to a predominantly Black church, and they looked at me and my family like outsiders. And I was really upset about that, because you would think, okay, I'm in a church, predominantly Black. You would think, okay, they will love one another even though they're Black, but that's not the case. I was pretty much known as an outsider. Any of me and my family or my other family members is cast as an outsider because it was like a sorority group. That's what it was. That church was like a sorority group. And I just felt it was really sad. I do want to real quick read something. And it's by, I guess, a subscriber, Cedrell McKnight. I saw a comment one day on one of your videos, ABL, and I want to read this real quick. Okay. And it's called Uncle Tom. And it says, I guess it's because I'm someone who can think for themselves. I am a person who wants to grow and to learn. I am someone who has ancestors who bled, who were tortured, nurtured, and who went to war for my freedom. I am someone who came from a background of no left behind policies with a stigma of doubt. I come from a place where people of my kind died left and right because my own kind. I thought that I was just a person who wanted to learn new things, to find my own passions and interests in life. Every day I heard someone call me a house in bleep, white boy, whitewash, coon, sellout. It even comes from the people who call themselves family. I was the white sheep of a black family. Every day it's like searching for the one piece of hay in a needle stack. A never-ending path of insults and derogatory slurs towards people like me. I was dehumanized because I found the truth. I was excommunicated for telling the truth. I was made fun of for finding freedom. My own kinsmen and kinswomen rejected me for not being Black enough. I had to find my friends outside of my comfort zone to make up for the lack of love. I had to brave the high seas to find comfort. I had to cry alone at night to understand and to have self-value. When I was in a university, I had no friends. My life was defined by a social status on the internet. I had to use Facebook to find friends and to find people who supported me. What I have found is no different than in what I have seen in front of me every day. It was the same people calling me a sellout, a house in bleep, a deplorable, and a mediocre Negro. It's pretty long, but I will read that probably in the Discord chat. But I thought that was a brilliant writing by Cedrell McKnight. He's sometimes in the chat, and I really appreciate that. But I'll definitely copy that in the Discord later on. But I hope you like that so far.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty deep. You got anything you want to ask her, Kevin?
Let me see. I'm sorry. Hi, Kevin. I'm glad that you're in the video. What question do I have? I don't know. I guess what is your field of what is your career?
Well, I'm at ABL here on my YouTube channel, but in my life, my background is chemical engineering. So that's my degrees in chemical engineering. But spent 25 years in business-to-business corporate sales before getting into, now I'm a professional image consultant and a corporate image consultant. So pretty much I package people and I help companies with their brands.
Oh, that's really
I do a
cool.
lot
I'm into
now.
computers. Yeah,
Well, there
I'm
you
into
go.
computers. So I wanted to develop games and programs. So hopefully I'll do that in the near future for sure.
You will if you want to.
Yeah.
There you
All right,
go.
I'm a go. I'm taking a bit too much time, but thank you, both of you men, so much for letting me answer. And sorry for the technical difficulties. It's
Oh,
fine. I'm patient. So I know another caller who was on the phone, so I'm gonna let him go. But
All right.
I'm gonna be in the chat. Take care now.
Okay.
thank you for the
Thanks.
call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good night.
All right. All right.
Okay, we have one more on the line right now. That's going to be 267. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So what's going on?
All right, what's going on? Yeah, my name is C. And the topic is about being a black conservative. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I have I guess we all have a unique story because none of us are the same. So my story, I guess I realized I was so-called conservative during this latest election. You know, I realized that when I was listening to the different points being given by Trump and Hillary and all the people, I vibed with Trump. My common sense told me, like, it was refreshing to hear somebody saying the truth. And all of a sudden, it made me pay attention to the different news outlets, because for years I had heard, Fox is racist.
Yeah.
I wasn't that into the news and the politics, so, I didn't pay it any attention. But I'm one of these people. I'm a type of person. I'm not scared to go around the corner. I'm not scared to look into something. I'm not scared to ask the question. So I clicked on the TV. It's nothing. Let me hear what Fox is saying. Let me hear. And it's like night and day, the two different channels. And to be honest, Fox was saying things that were a lot more balanced.
Yes.
A lot less biased, and it is what it is.
You know what? I feel kind of like you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel kind of like you, because at one point I used to watch MSNBC, CNN, CBS, all those stations, and then, I was always taught, don't watch Fox News. It's racist. They hate black people. So I stayed away from it. It was like, being told not to touch the hot stove. It was like I didn't want to do it because I was always told not to do it. But then all of a sudden one day, you know what? I'm going to touch that hot stove and see if it's really hot. And it didn't burn me. I actually enjoyed the programming. So I'm right there with you. I got a similar story to you.
And mine is backwards.
Yeah, so
Mine actually came the opposite way. I started out directly conservative. I watched Rush Limbaugh back in the days of the colorful ties in the early 90s and the Big Rush. Until the mid 2000s, after George W. Bush, I started looking at the other side, MSNBC, and started to really realize, I'm like, it sounds good, but there's no solution here. And it really threw me back to, honestly, a lot of bootleg preachers from back in the day. That's really what it sounded like.
yeah,
Go ahead, Colin.
it's a sound good reasoning. It's all off of emotions. And it boggles me sometimes. Every day right now, I'm listening to these black people. Oh, everything is white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. The media. This is being told to them by the same media that that they're claiming are white supremacists. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're the same people. The same people that they claim are their enemies are the same people that are telling them who to be upset at, when to be upset. Like, and to me, it's embarrassing because the whole world is watching. They're just not allowed to say anything.
There you go.
Because the second they say something, you're called a racist.
Right.
So it's embarrassing. It's watching them just go on and on with this big temper tantrum party. When Trump said, my African American over there. Oh my God, yeah, you for real? Come on,
Yeah,
this is so phony.
Yeah,
And this is from the same people who watch rated R movies, rated X movies, listen to rap music, listen to the. Come on, like, are you serious? Now that hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You now you have no context clues. You can't. Everything is taken literal.
Now, do you think
from
that's
the same people who
make
make rap music and have a metaphor every other bar, every other sentence in the rap?
I got a question. I got a question for you. Do you think that's an issue with the black community, that we got too much emotionalism and it's difficult for us to be able to relay messages to each other when the emotion is in the way?
Yeah, I look at the black community, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah,
they are like, they're all like women, and I don't mean all like, but the majority, they behave like women. You have to treat them the way you treat a woman. Like sometimes when you just like, you got to tell her what she wants to hear. Don't get her upset. Bite your tongue. This is what we have with black people. The second you tell them the truth, they don't want to. They're rolling over. They're taking the covers. You want to sleep on the couch. That's the way they behave.
You know what I've noticed,
and they're pushed to behave like this.
What I've noticed is we have lost a fundamental tenet of any interaction amongst men in a community: mutual respect. When I was growing up, you really couldn't fit a sheet of paper between a Democrat and a Republican. They were Oklahomans first, you know, and that's who we are. And to this day, you can hear some of the differences in the calls. What I'm hearing across everything, some people grew up with disrespect. Valley Girl, Oreo, these things are disrespectful. I'm sure every community has their issues, but it's acute in our community to the point of where we don't even recognize each other as worthy of listening to. If you're a conservative, you're a coon and you're a sellout. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, we can pretty it up, but that's really because that's the first word they want to throw at you when you say something they don't agree with. Oh, you're
yeah, and that's their maturity level has stopped at a high school maturity level. That's what we do in high school. You don't like somebody, you make fun of them, you call them a name, and get them to stop. We're adults now. Some of these people that are doing this are 40 plus, 50 plus, and they still have this same mentality. It's embarrassing. To me, it's embarrassing. I get embarrassed because one thing I can't change that I'm black. I can't change that that's the first thing people see. And I can't stand that I go places and people might assume that I'm down with Black Lives Matter. Yes. And I hate Trump and yes. I do this. And because that's the exact opposite. I'm not that shallow. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, it's our, and when I hear people get upset that you don't automatically think that way. Well, I asked the same question. Well, if I walked into a all-white establishment and they thought I worked there, you'd expect me to get upset, right? Because they just made an assumption based on a stereotype. They do the same thing. Again, no respect.
Yeah, and black people do it all day. They do it at their comedy shows. They say, "Oh, white men can't." They have movies. White men can't jump.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like let's be for real. Like I'm tired of the hypocrisy. It just whining. Nobody owes you anything.
I got you, man. Well, thank you for the call.
I understand. Yeah, no doubt. I just wanted to say I understand slavery, and I'm not bigging it up or anything like that. But come on, you're whining in front of the world. You got to stop.
I'm right there with you, man.
You don't get any respect for begging the bully. You don't get any respect begging the bully for your lunch money back. You'll never get respect like that.
Cool.
All right, so
thanks,
thank
man.
you for the phone call.
Thank you for the call.
All right, guys.
I appreciate it.
Was that the last caller?
Oh no, we got a bunch of more calls. Like the phone lines have not stopped. Like we have 233 people. We got 233 people watching. Yeah, you did tell me.
If you guys are wondering how this came about, I'm a YouTuber also. If you guys are familiar with Alpha M and that kind of stuff, I run a fashion channel and a style channel where I try to help men look good, smell great, and become the best version. ABL and I have kind of met each other through some different circles, and I see what people say about him. I know what people say about me, and I said, I think there's a growing amount of people out here who are like us, who really want to be heard from. So this was an experiment, and I'm blown away.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah, I have 4 calls that just came in just right now. But before we get to the next calls, I'm gonna just read some of the super chat because that's been blowing up too, and I thank all of y'all for doing that. I got a donation on PayPal from, hold on, let me see what that is before I mess it up. That is Intense Fitness and Boxing. Thank you for that, much appreciated. And also, we shouted out O'Shea. He was the first PayPal donator with them the Polish money. Thank you for that, O'Shea. Right. And then we got one from, I think this says, I forget what this is. It's like some Russian words. I think it says I love Russia or something. They say, keep up good work, Anthony. Conservative values will overtake this bizarre SJW trend, as good people are not impressed with this disgusting division in the United States and greater world. Even dissenters are waking. I'm with you on that. I'm seeing a lot of people have like the red pill moment. Even those that were far left, they're coming more towards the center. So that's a good thing. Thank you for your donation. Serge Villanova says, I had to come through, bro. Your work is needed now more than ever. Well, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Paul Santabria says, a man is a man, period, no matter the race, period. Well, I'm with you. Got to be a man regardless of what you are. Black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. Elizabeth Luker says, ABL, you do a fantastic job. Never stray away from the truth and stay vigilant. Much love and respect to you. Blessings from Alabama. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Very much appreciated as always. Again, we have, I think this is I Love Russia. I'm not quite sure. It's in Cyrillic. They say, ABL, I like your discussion as you do not use emotions and hype. Stay grounded and having points, counterpoints for intellectual debate is why I love this channel. Everyone should donate $2 if possible. Well, thank you for the suggestion and your donation. Much appreciated. Nipun Sharma says, which black conservative do you look up to more? Clarence Thomas or Condoleezza Rice? You want to answer that,
honestly,
Kevin?
I honestly, believe it or not, I would actually say Condoleezza Rice. Clarence Thomas being on the Supreme Court, honestly, a great legal scholar, but there was just something about the way Condoleezza Rice comported herself, even when things were falling apart with her image in some people's eyes. It is not easy standing up there or even being on YouTube as a black person and conservative. It just isn't. And you have to conduct yourself with the grace, civility, and still do your job, knowing that it's not personal, but what you're doing is going to help everybody in the long haul, even the black people who may be throwing the slings at you.
That's right. Well, we got a few more donations. I'm gonna get to the next calls. Fish and Chimp says, capitalism is greater than third position, is greater than communism. Well, there it is. Capitalism above all. Thank you for your donation. Bolt Like a Leper, also known as Ramon, says, you guys should start a permanent network. Well, hey, I'm part of different little groups here. I've done live shows and stuff with Kevin before. So, we got something working. Hopefully we're able to keep doing stuff like this. It'd be good. Carl Taylor says, ABL, Kevin, thanks for taking the call. To your point, Kevin, yes, I dealt with hurt when I was rejected by fellow black people, and my faith in Christ made me confident in who I am. Thank you.
Go.
Well, hey man, that's a great word right there. So thank you for that. Much appreciated. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Please, keep calling. I know a lot of y'all been calling for a while, but it's kind of hard to get through because, it's a lot going on. But before we get to the next call, is there anything you want to say about the call so far?
I think what I'm seeing is what I thought was going to be out there. A groundswell of people who are saying, hey, me too. Hey, I'm black. Hey, we are redefining and taking back what it means to be black. You do it your way, I do it my way on my channel. And like you said, there's a silent majority, and I'm really excited about what I'm hearing from people. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing on the downside of being a stand-up man or stand-up woman and having some standards and morals. There's really just no downside to this argument.
That's right.
Oh, ABL, people have asked the channel, and I don't know if the moderators have my channel. I don't know if the moderators have it, and I can't put it in there.
Okay, yeah, I put it up there. I'm gonna put it up there again. I put it there a little while ago.
Okay.
But yeah, subscribe to Kevin Samuels. Go to his channel. Subscribe right now. The link is in the actual chat box. I'm gonna also put it in the description box so they can just look anytime right under the video. It'll be right there. So matter of fact, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put this.
Makes me want to pull up my Makes me want to pull up my Blog Talk Radio and get that number on here now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So
wow.
Yeah. So the subscription for Kevin Samuels is the top line of the description. Is also in the chat box. So I'm gonna get another call.
I'm liking the variety.
All right, Jordan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
hey,
right,
Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Well, thank you.
Did you say you majored in chemical engineering?
Degree.
Oh, degree. I'm doing electrical engineering.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, that after physics 2, I was done with all the electric stuff. No way.
Okay. It's hard, but I'm pulling through.
There you go.
All right. My experience.
Hey, Jordan, you want to do video, Jordan? I don't see video from you.
Can you?
No, I can't.
Because I called with it won't let me do. Oh, here you go.
Select the camera or the phone.
Can you see it? Because I don't know if it's letting me.
Well, don't worry about it. Just keep going. I think Kevin, you might have messed yourself up because I don't see video from you anymore.
Uh-oh. Let me go see me. I'm still here.
Okay, I can hear you, but I can't see you. So y'all,
can you see me now?
No.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Okay, but y'all.
Can you see me now?
No.
Hey, let me do this.
All right.
Can you see me now?
No. It's like a little spinning circle. I can't see you at all. I can hear both of you just fine. No.
I'll bounce back out and I'll pop back in.
Okay.
I don't know what's okay.
All right.
Do that.
All right. So in the meantime, tell me your story.
You want to just talk about it? All right.
Yeah.
I think it was like a growing thing for me. It started in middle school. I went to a charter school called a KIPP charter school, and it was mostly black, I think, and I constantly did work. It was a lot of tedious work that I had to do, but the problem for me wasn't as much academics as it was socially. You had a lot of just bad students. 70% of the kids were failing at the time, and the school was on the verge of being shut down. I had these people were failing, but for me, it was pretty easy for me because all I had to do was work. And so what ended up happening was I had gotten beat up a lot of times, and overall, that in itself was a terrible experience for me because what I had assumed was me and my parents assumed was that this experience was going to help me after my last school, and it turned out it didn't. And so I kept an open mind with that, and I moved on to high school. And then I looked towards my brother, who is a hardcore liberal, and his want to hang out with more African American individuals because he went to a Christian middle school and he wanted to go to high school with and bond with the black community. He went to Jack Yates High School for his freshman year, but he didn't spend that long because he got into fights. And the only friend he made there ended up becoming a white man. And so the school was on the verge of expelling him. And my mom had to remove him because if you get expelled in the school, it's over. You don't have any luck going to another school. And so he became homeschooled. He went to other schools and he ultimately ended up in a college that was underperforming in the past few years. And that changed him. he went from this well-dressed, clean-cut individual to this guy who wanted to grow beard or dreadlocks.
Yeah.
He wanted to become a rapper when he grew up. He was bringing in girls that were having relations with single moms and girls that didn't do well in their life. They have trouble getting themselves a house. He got into fights and he broke both of his shoulders, and my mom had to pay medical bills for that. He had hurt my brother. He gave him a bruise, and it just changed him. This exposure to more liberal attitudes, or this want to be more of a liberal, had ended up doing a lot of harm to him. So I learned from him, and I ended up becoming more open-minded about it. And I didn't take that route. I stayed in one school at a time, and then ended up going to college. I remember one time when I took, I went to this pretty diverse school, and I did pretty well there. It was sort of fun. I went to the summer school one time, and there was this white woman, the white girl in my class. She had curly, messed up hair, who obviously had an interest in black men. And she noticed me performing well in the class, and then she said, "You so white," and that's something that won't get out of my head. It's stuck with me even in my college years. And then I'm doing physics and electrical engineering right now. And I think this school is pretty liberal. So I don't really talk that much. So I just chill with ABL and anybody else willing to talk on the internet. I think it became very hard for me to talk to people about issues, honestly, that were of the same race as I, or even just liberals in general. Like, for example, I was doing work, and there was this cute black girl who showed me a Google search of kids, and of three that she did, and there weren't any black kids there, and she asked me what's missing. And then I was confused. I was like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything wrong." And then she asked me if I was colorblind. Wow. And I ended up with a confusing tone, and I didn't bother trying to answer it coherently because I knew if I did, she said this herself, she would yell at me right in front of in front of everyone else. And I got called particularly. All the time, I only got called one name, and it was Uncle Tom. Now, I felt like people usually don't know what that means. I don't think people have read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin or looked up what the word coons actually means.
No, of course not.
Or anything of that sort. But I remember one time I was dating this Vietnamese girl who liked me and asked me out. And then I ended up joining the Vietnamese Association because I wanted to learn about more about the students and what the group does. And and the opportunity cost for that was a fraternity, because I talked with my counselor about that, and I didn't. He knew I wasn't fit to be in a fraternity. I wasn't that social. So I called my mom, who wanted me to be in a fraternity, and she said, "Did you go?" And then I said, "No." And then she called me Uncle Tom from there.
Wow.
And that was my mom.
Hold on. Pause. Your mom called you Uncle Tom?
My mom.
Wow.
And she did again during the election year. It was with the first debate between Trump and Hillary. And she called me while I was walking in lunch, and then she asked me who I was voting for. And I didn't even say I was voting for Trump. I said I didn't know. And then I was going to tell her about all of the, it was a Project Veritas video about people causing commotion in Chicago. And so I tried to tell her that, but she kept calling me Uncle Tom. And I couldn't speak with her from there.
This is not uncommon, ABL.
Really?
again, I was raised in an all Democrat family, who Christian. If you even had thought about talking about something outside of, Baptist Christianity, you're going to hell. And the only thing worse than that was talking about politics. Yeah, my grandmother, not my grandmother, my aunts, my mom. My mom didn't do it as much, but my aunts, her sisters, the whole family, Uncle Tom, sellout, such and so forth. Now, mind you, all these diehard Democrats never voted.
That's right.
Yeah. But that same thing happened to. Oh, you're still on. Okay. My dad actually I can actually talk to my dad. My dad understands my concerns, but he isn't much of a voter guy. He hasn't voted. The only person I think he's ever voted for was Bill Clinton, both years. After that, he just stopped voting. I think, and I could talk to him, and I could talk to him about things like out of wedlock birth rates in the Black community and college tuition and all that stuff. And he has solutions. So it's good talking to him. But my mom, who is on a more liberal side of the family, is a totally different story. It's just terrible talking to him. But then I started doing things like reading Thomas Sowell. I have Intellectuals in Race and Black Rednecks and Right Liberals with me. I love these books. I'm reading the latter. It's very interesting stuff. You need to check him out because he's a genius.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
But I read these and listen to other conservative Black individuals, and I see it reflected on the outside world, like out of wedlock birth rates in the Black community. That number jumped from 73% 2 years ago to now 77%.
Wow.
77% are illegitimate. I mean, look at affirmative action. I told you, ABL, about that stunt woman.
Yes.
That got killed because they needed a Black female to be a stunt woman for the Marvel movie Deadpool 2, because they race swapped Domino, and they wanted a Black woman who was inexperienced to do the role. And now she's dead. This policy ended up killing her. And it seemed as though people didn't learn that lesson of not putting people in positions that they can't do. And these policies, the war on poverty and all this stuff, are actually hurting Black people more than they help. They haven't achieved their goal. And all this crime and all this these police shootings and all these riots in Charlottesville, Berkeley, Chicago, all these places are in places that are run by Democrats. You rarely see this in a Republican area. I think the only one that's ever been done was with Sandra Bland, and even then, that wasn't even a shooting. That was a miscommunication problem, I think, and Sandra Bland ended up killing herself.
So do you see any? Do you see any correlation with all these problems in the Black community and the people like us? The people going to school, trying to become better themselves, being pushed on the outsides. I mean, do you see any correlation? Because the first thing that comes to my mind, but I want to hear what you have to say about it. Do you see any causality there?
Well, it's a clear causality. It's democratic policies. I read this article one time. It was it was called The Curse of Democratic Cities. And that includes all of this crime and chaos that exists with it. And birth rates that exist within Black communities. I listened to Tommy Sotomayor's podcast one time. He did a story in an area that was 50% single mothers and 50% their children. And if that's, my roommate even has a single mom for a sister, and so it's becoming more prevalent now. I mean,
hold on. Back up a little bit. You said the area was 50%, like the population out of 100%, half were.
It was the neighborhood.
Oh, the neighborhood. So the neighborhood. Out of a neighborhood in the population, like you have 100% population in the neighborhood, half of the population was single mothers, and the other half were their children.
Well, yeah, that's what Tommy said. I don't know if he's BSing, but that could be that. I think that was the case. But these problems are becoming more prevalent, and I'm thinking to myself, why are we continuing? I mean, look at like Sean King, aka Talcum X. We like to make fun of him. He's doing a story about all the corruption and then the police department in New York. And I'm thinking to myself, if you really think they're corrupt, why don't you stop voting for the people that are allowing this, because New York is full of Democrats. I don't understand why that. If the correlation is there, why you don't continue to vote for people that aren't enforcing these policies that are hurting the Black community. And so I just do more research, and I'm considered a mild conservative, like an Eisenhower-esque conservative. There are some things I don't agree with everybody on, or libertarian-esque, although there are some things that I kind of disagree with libertarians on, but that's for another time. But that's pretty much my journey to this, to conservatism.
I would say this, regardless, even taking politics out of it, Democrat, Republican, such and so forth, when the best and the brightest of us are also shunned because we have a difference of an opinion, when you see what happens in the community, just imagine what would happen if the community would just welcome us back in open arms and say, you know what, we love you just as much as you love us. We're working at a deficit because we're pushing the people who can think and fix things out.
A brain drain.
There you go. That's a huge causality. I'm like, wow. I'm like, y'all shun us, but you know what? Guess what? We have solutions, so we can help fix this stuff.
Exactly. And I wish we had more conversations like this, but it seems as though people don't allow that to happen. Like, I don't know if you watched the debate between Matt Christensen and Nico House about a video he made about Michael Bennett. You should watch it, because and this is more towards ABL. I don't know if you've watched it.
No, I haven't.
Well, Logan.
Yes.
Have you watched it?
Have I seen what now?
The debate between Matt Christensen and Nico.
I did see some of that. Yeah, like that was really a mess, actually.
Yeah, it was just. This is how debate goes when you're talking to Black people with a difference in opinion. The dude just screams, yells all this rhetoric. He has spasms in his chair, and he logs out without any notice or anything, without ending the debate. It's just, and then I forgot to talk to you about this, Logan. But when I was talking to Mark Lamont Hill, when I talked to him about people like Thomas Sowell, he basically just said, "Oh, I just don't agree with him." Or when we were talking about out of wedlock birth rates, he said, "Okay, correlation does not imply causation." And I was like, these all cop-outs. And I see like Simone Sanders, I see Michael Eric Dyson and Roland Martin, all these people that just want to yell instead of actually have an honest conversation. It just makes it difficult to achieve the task of getting the Black community straightened out. And at that point, I don't know what to do. The best thing you do is just worry about yourself. We could have a lot more Kevin Samuels. That could have been that was going to be the case in the 1950s, and then that stopped. So I think the decision. I made a video about this the other day. I think we have to make a decision to re-engage. I'm part of Generation X, and a big part of the Generation X walked away, and I think that's part of our entry into the American thread and the story. We didn't have to fight in a war or anything else. This is our war. There's a civil war going on. Let's be honest. There's a civil war going on in the Black community right now. It's between what could be and what is. And for something to be better, it's going to take the people who have been pushed out to say, you know what, it's not fair, it's not right. I don't like the way they treated us. Call me Oreo-kun, such and so forth. But I still want to see better for everybody possible. It sucks. It sucks. There's no two ways about it. It sucks. It's not fair. But like you said, in order to get anything better, you're going to need people like us, because even with that guy who was the first caller, who arguably was difference of opinion, he was treated with respect and he responded. You can have a disagreement without being disagreeable, and you have to show that before you can expect it. I hope we started something today by showing that it can be done. All right. Well, I took a lot of your time. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to ask me, Kevin, before we go.
No, man. Just stay watching the content. Do yourself a favor. I know it's hard to not be discouraged, but you do have one advantage. You do have the internet. You do have things to help keep you uplifted, because we're not going to get there by ourselves. We need everybody. We need everybody, and we particularly need black men to step up because, like I said, at the end of the day, let's imagine you're a father one day. Would you rather have a black man like yourself who had radically different views on some things, or would you rather have Pookie and Ray Ray?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that question and then make a decision.
There it is.
Okay.
Thank you for the call, Jordan. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Have a good stream. I'll be in chat.
All right.
There you go.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye-bye. See you later.
All right.
Wow. ABL, wow.
Oh no, the calls have been blowing up. People have been trying to get on. Like I have 2 right now that are kind of like I'm telling you, like this is like you're hearing some stories. I told you that this would really be kind of a big one here.
Wow. So it's up to you, man. Do you want to keep this one going? You want to? I mean, I'm here.
Okay,
you need me to be.
We can be here for a little while longer because we got calls. People really want to get on. So I'm
Okay,
trying to
go
get
ahead.
people. Yeah, I'm trying to get people on. Some people. Oh, I gotta make this announcement. Some people are trying to call. I think my man Vincent's been trying to call. I see you, Vincent, but for some reason I'm not able to add you onto a group chat. I don't know why I can't do that. But if you call in through Skype, I have to be able to add you on the group chat because if I can't, then I can't have Kevin on. So I don't know what it is in your settings or whatever, but I got to be able to have you on the group chat. So make sure you have that setting turned on. Maybe you can Google it, figure out. I really don't know what's going on, or just call with your cell phone and get on that way. And then we'll be able to go ahead and rock and roll.
Tell you, man. There's a lot. The silent, unsilent majority. Let me go ahead and take off my jacket, man, because let's do some work.
All right. No doubt. Okay, let's get 850. You on the line? Who am I speaking to?
Oh yes. This is Freedom Work.
Freedom Work. What's
up,
going
fam?
on? Everything's good.
Not too much, man. You know what? This has actually been a bit therapeutic for me to hear so many other Black conservatives pretty much tell my life story. In fact, it's this recent connection of Black conservatives coming out online has somewhat given me, it caused me to rethink my disconnection, particularly from Black females, because I don't think I've ever actually met a Black female conservative before in my life. And from a very young age, I pretty much discredited Black females because, one, they never gave me the time of day, and two, and particularly in middle school, they were very much a part of egging on my persecution, simply for the way that I spoke, my studiousness, and the difference in behavior between me and the thugs around me. But now I actually do see that there are some, and apparently quite a few, Black female conservatives that I could actually relate to and have a decent conversation with.
That they're out. Here's the thing. Any logical person would question. Oops, is that a call, ABL?
Oh, no, you good. You good. Keep going.
Someone's calling me on this line. Okay, well, any logical thinking person would at some time question and say, why am I doing this? Why don't I just walk away instead of engaging in this this persecution and everything else? But when you walk away, what are you left with? I mean, because here's the thing, no man wants to quit. You don't want to quit. You just wonder where a solution was. The solution, I think we started to find it, using these connections online, all these rooms in order to reach out and touch each other. I've never met ABL in my life, never seen him in person. However, if he's there, that means I'm here. That's how this call started, and said, well, I wonder how many more out there. Yes, there are like-minded Black women who are conservatives. They've been looking for good old-fashioned regular, just regular Black folks. We're the regular people.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell else is going on. I'm regular. I'm normal. This is what it was. I grew up in the Cosby era when you ran home to watch the Cosby Show. I saw Sidney Poitier. I saw my grandfather and all these other men handle a business from trash worker to mayor. So we're the norm. This last 20 years of gangster rap and sagging pants, okay, that happened, but no, we're it. College, business degrees, nuclear families, apple pie, barbecue ribs, football. Come on, man. Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, three tenors, jazz. I mean, we like it all. I love the band Tool, but too. So we like it all.
Yeah, and one thing, now this has already been hinted on, but looking back, is particularly over the last 8 years, this has been Barack Obama's presidency was my red pill moment. Because that's when I engaged in the political process. I engaged in figuring out and paying attention to the culture around me, and tried and decided to try and figure out where I fit in all of this, who the players were, and what the principles were. And one thing I ended up learning was just how destructive welfare has been on the Black family. Now, I grew up with an intact family. I mean, my father, he died before I was born, but I've always had a dad, and that was my stepdad. He's been there my entire life. He's still there. So I've never been without a father, but I've been around a lot of men that have. In fact, I find them, particularly when it comes to working, I find them the most difficult people to work with. They're very unreliable. They're very unstable. And it's always so frustrating and disappointing to have to make the decision to either try and invest in this young man, or even if it's like a guy my own age, it's such a difficult decision to try and invest in him and try to bring him alongside you, or to just write him off and realize that the issues that he has are beyond the scope of what I can even touch.
Yeah, and that's one of the things in our community. We have this idea that everyone has to win and everyone's going to make it. That's not even true in the animal kingdom. Everyone can't win. So you have to be able to take care of you before you can take care of anybody else. So we all live that dilemma because we feel like, and we'll be told, if you go ahead and become the best version of yourself, you're selling out. I don't buy that. I just started an organization called Men in Training, MIT, where I work with boys from age 5 to 13, from single parent, from single mother households, father out of the picture, dead somewhere along. And I'm teaching them what I know, soft skills, etiquette, how to carry yourself like a young man, being a gentleman, how to tie a tie, the things that I can help do. A lot of these guys, here's the thing, what I realized, a lot of these boys have never seen men. A lot of the mothers have never seen men. Mm-hmm. I can only help in the way I do things, but it's going to take a lot more like-minded men working together and then helping the ones, because here's the thing, the people who get in the program have to express the desire to want to do it, and they have to let me run it. I will help, though. I don't help everybody who needs help. I help the people who want help.
Yes. In fact, that very issue of making the distinction between who actually can be helped. I mean, who will choose it, particularly when it comes to when their relationship to authority and expertise. Because so many of them, they never had a dad. They grew up with a mother as the central authority. So their entire paradigm of authority is based around a female model. which means for me, whenever I relate to them, that means that even in a situation where I know that I am the expert in this situation, this young man, this young man will decide that, according to him, I am not worth submitting to due to my expertise. He will not recognize my authority in the matter.
Does his mother?
And yes, and of course, they many times will get very emotional. They'll become very irrational, and they will become a disruption to the entire process of whatever we're working on.
Okay, I'm only clear. We're talking about the mother or the boy?
Oh, the boy. I'm talking about me as a man dealing with another fatherless man. He'll become a disruption because he won't submit to authority.
And this is what I call, because I'm from a single parent household. My father had 11 or 13 kids, something like that. And every day, it's so one that I'm not running around here in a dress right now. I was spoiled. I was a pretty boy. But around about the age of 13, my grandfather, who's been in my life since day one, got a hold of me, taught me how to chew tobacco and all the other kind of stuff. And he started putting me on the track to manhood. But to this day, I still, not as much as I used to, I have to wrestle with that dynamic. But it takes a guy wanting to be accountable for that inner chick in him. Guys in a single parent household will always have it, but no different than a drug addict or an alcoholic who decides to get sober. You have to decide to not feed that addiction, that need anymore. Then they can decide to want to be helped, because until they decide they want to do that kind of stuff, there's no amount of stuff you can do to help them, because they won't submit to your authority because they have no respect for their own manhood.
Exactly. All right, sir, it was an absolute pleasure to get to speak with you. I've already subscribed to your channel.
Very much.
I'll see the rest of you guys in the chat and enjoy the stream.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
There we go. Cool.
All right, yeah, we got a lot of people calling. Everybody wants to call. I'm gonna see if I can get the next person. Okay.
I got Vincent calling on my side. I wonder if he can join in.
Do you see a button that says add to group chat? Hold on, before you do that, I got Zardrell. I told him he'd be next. I'm gonna get Vincent after that.
Well, he's calling me right now.
Well, no, you good. You don't have to answer.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right, Zardrell, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sure am.
All righty, what's going on?
How you doing? Pretty good. See the MAGA hat?
Yes, sir. We see it live and direct.
Man, oh man, this is a interesting topic. It's very touchy. And how you doing, Mr. Kevin? How you doing?
I do well, thank you.
I want to first say thank you for having yourself on here. You know, you are a beacon in our community. And I remember calling in a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned to you, Anthony, I typed this in. I said, remember the 90-10 rule I gave you. 90% of what we have are people who are incompetent or lazy, and 10% of that community is smart. And within that 10%, 5% is active, and the other 5% is dissuaded.
Wow.
Oh, the thing is that, you know, I'm part of Generation Z. I just turned 20. And no matter how much you try to cut this, it's going to come down to self-education. Your parents can't do but so much. You know, they can raise you. You're going to have to make decisions. You're both grown men. I'm a grown man, too. But I'm a younger grown man. I'm a young man. And I remember in the Bible it says, you grow up and you get away from childish things. You know, you grow to more mature things. And that's wisdom in itself. When you look at liberalism, it's digressing. You know, that is just the purest form of digression in itself. When you look at other societies, let's say the Asians, you see them praising the village genius. You look in our community, we're laughing at the village genius. We're praising the village idiot.
Preach.
It's almost it's the exact opposite of what we have. You know, I'm in college. Same problem. You see young men sagging their pants, wearing skinny jeans, trying to sag skinny jeans.
No,
You know,
who are you talking to? I got to style that mess.
you know, and the thing is, I get called Uncle Tom, I get called house nigger, you know, all that stuff, all that good stuff. And the thing is, it is discouraging. But when I look at that, I said, okay, I now know where I'm at and I know where I'm standing. And when you know where you're at and when you're standing, you cannot be dissuaded. You cannot be pushed away. You cannot be moved. You have to understand where you're at. And this is the war we're fighting. It is a civil war. It's a social economic war. You know, it's not just a race war. It's a social economic issue. The most impoverished community we have is the Black community. You want to know why? Because the money is not being flowed inside of our community and out. We do not support each other either. You know, if you look at the Jewish community, the money circulates 18 times before it leaves the community. You do not see that. It won't circulate 3 times in ours. It will be exported. You know, we're doing more importing and exporting of our cash. Whereas we should be more importing of our cash, making the goods and exporting the goods and getting more inflow of the financial revenue. And that's what it is.
And I think also, to piggyback on what you're saying, that a lot of what you're hearing is, I think we're the regular people. The regular people get shunned. You know, I have a background, 30 years in martial arts, so I'm very familiar with Chinese culture and the concept of face and the respect for the elders, such and so forth. What we're going to have to do here is, we, the regular people, are going to have to actively work to find each other, to stay engaged, to keep this thing going, because it is so easy to get overwhelmed just by sheer numbers. I mean, you turn on the TV or the radio, and we're just being inundated with foolishness. We have to search to find each other, so we have to actively work to stay engaged, to build this into something that can be greater. Because that's the only way we're going to end up winning.
And even if we were together, we're still going to butcher each other. Look at how we act amongst each other in a group. Put Black liberals and Black conservatives together and look at the cat and mouse, the cat and dog game. Look how vicious we're going to get. You know.
You know, I think that situation again starts from one fundamental core thing.
Yep.
Men have to have respect for one another. When men have respect between each other, you can have a disagreement across any lines, even religious lines, but manhood trumps all that. With this effeminization of the Black male community, the single mother household, all the stuff we've talked about, you have a generation of Black men who have a lot more female tendencies, who act out that way. So anything they take on top of that, any label you put on top of that, still doesn't change who they are at the core. You got to get at that thing. And here's the thing. In order to change it, you got to give them something else. You have to give them something else better and stronger that they can actually see themselves doing and holding on to. That's why I think conservatism works so well, because it's the hard path, but it's the path that allows each man, no matter from a janitor to a CEO, to look at himself and say, I'm still a man.
That's right.
You know, you're an engineer, right? I'm engineering minded. Do we fix what's already working?
No, we approve what's already working. That's what you do.
Exactly.
You fix what's broken.
Right. You keep using what's working and make it better. Exactly. So when you said the being yourself part, in my generation, everybody's trying to live up to an image that's not them. Okay. Right. An image that is imposed by the media. So the media is also a big player in this too, is a keynote player. And the thing is, when you try to live up to that image, you're forsaking yourself.
Right.
You know, and if you're a Christian and you're doing that, you're forsaking Christ within you to live for that very image.
So as an image consultant, that's the paradox. A lot of people say, how can you be an image consultant in Christ? I say, you're pushing this thing and these clothes and worldly things. I'm like, no. What I'm pushing is you become the best version of your authentic self. Let the you that's on the inside radiate on the outside, to where actually my job is done when your clothes, hair, shoes, fragrance are not even a consideration. When someone can just walk up and see ABL and not look to see if he's sagging, whatever.
Right.
When you can just see, oh, he has a graphic design firm. Okay, that's when my job is done.
Exactly.
A lot of us have the thing misaligned, thinking it's a worldly thing. It's completely opposite.
Exactly. And the thing is, and another thing is, people are scared to be themselves, and that's why we get the political correctness from.
Yeah.
So let me give you a little story. I went to middle school. I went to Albert Hill Middle School in Richmond, Virginia. I'm still here in Richmond. And I remember getting bullied. You know, I got called white boy, you know, Oreo, the typical lingo. And the thing is, I started with computers. I was an avid video game designer. I did video game design. I did virtual world design in middle school. I did mind games. I was the all-around typical geek nerd combination.
Right.
Going to high school, I taught myself how to hack. I taught myself cybersecurity. I even went into competition for cybersecurity. Barely praised for that. However, I came in my region first and second place all years in my high school except for one.
Wow.
And I didn't even do it that year, you know. And the thing is that being an autodidact is frowned upon in our community. And the very few that do, we are persecuted so much that we are exjudicated out of our community. So we have to form up on our own community, and that's hard in itself. So you're getting battered down on both sides.
But you know what? It wasn't always like that either. Because at one point, you could be, you know, a nerd, you could be a geek or whatever, and it wasn't like something.
Right.
It wasn't frowned upon. It was just like that was just what you were. It wasn't like this big deal where, or you being white, or you got to push out of the community. That wasn't the case.
I grew up that way. And that's what I was going to tell you. What would you feel like if you lived that to where that was praised? When I went to the science fair and people were making the volcanoes and everything, in the 6th grade, I made a fully operational human circulatory and lymph system.
You know, I would love to do that.
But that was what was praised, and that's what we decided to do. So that's why I said it's going to be incumbent upon my generation, the people who saw this real world happen, to bite the bullet, go back, each one to teach one, to find the people like you to say, you didn't have it, you won't have it, but how about the ones after us? But it's going to take those pieces coming together. We regular folks. And somehow we found each other today. We can find some more of us.
You know, look at the generational gap between you, Anthony, and me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the differences.
But if we were in Asia,
oh man, we'd be rolling in dough. We'll be.
I mean, but you would see the senior, you would see the junior, and you would see the children. You know, that's why you see a lot of these. I'm gonna just throw something out here. Pro-blacks talking about going back to Africa and all this other stuff. But the respect for the elders and tradition. Look, we got all that. We got it all.
We're not implementing it.
So, like I said, somehow we found each other today. Mm-hmm. Who's to say it can't be done? We just got to keep looking. We just can't.
You know, and the thing is, when we talk about Chicago, our Chicago is our Detroit and Richmond. Just last night, man, we had 4 killings back to back to back. I'm pretty sure it was on the news in Norfolk last night too. You know.
Yeah.
And it was uncalled for. All of them was in the East End, in the hood.
Yeah.
What is the call for? Why are we killing each other? Over what? A piece of drugs? A pair of shoes? You know, that's stupid. If you can see someone past the materials, if you can see someone past a MAGA hat or something, and look at the person's character and how they carry themselves, then you can get to the bottom of the problem. You can get to the root cause. But if you cannot see past that, you will never rectify the issue. You will never have the solution. You'll never have these closures. You'll never have the success that you're dreaming of. You know?
Hey, man.
And that's just a whole other community.
That's a great point you made there, and I appreciate your call, but we got a lot of calls on the line, so thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Wow.
All right,
have a great night, y'all.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, we got the callers, they've been beating the door down. 214. Okay, let's get 214 right now. All righty.
Okay.
204, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Tariq. I was listening, man. Y'all got a great show. Excellent show.
All right, thank you for calling, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, man. But yeah, I was, I like the topic about black conservatives, man, because, it's funny, man. Like the way we're painted as if we're just some sellouts, who would, sell out their race just to try to appease white people. And I'm just thinking, like, where did this mentality even come from? You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta even ask yourself, like, who does it serve? Because, when you talk to Black conservatives, they're all about economics, family building, self-accountability. What is wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it unless somebody wants you to be unaccountable, don't want you to have a good economic background so you could be begging or depending on other people for your life, and just not even having a family. How does that benefit the Black community? Because I'm looking at liberalism, especially. I don't see anything in liberalism that puts, like I think I told you this before, Anthony, but the Black man and woman and child together. Is there anything in liberalism that's important for a father to be in a home? Because, and this is nothing against homosexual, I have nothing against it, but they try to say it's okay to have, two mothers raise a child or two dads, as long as they offer economic support. But what about that mental? You know what I'm saying? Because the way I see it, if two mothers raise a child, to me, it's still psychologically, especially a boy, he's getting so much feminine energy. It's almost as if a single mother is raising him. He's still missing that masculine energy, in which can cause him to have a lot of problems when you get older.
Yes.
So, so my thing is, these liberals need to ask themselves, whose interest, especially these Black liberals, whose interests are you serving? Who and whose interest is it for your community to not progress, to where you can't work together, to where y'all don't even have a functioning community where you trade money together and you build? Instead, you're worried about what white people do all day and how they live your life, and then they want to call you a coon. Like I just, you cannot keep talking about white supremacy, but then treat white people as they are supreme over you. You know what I'm saying? You're worried about them. What are they going to say? You compare everything with them. White people do this too. It's unbelievable. But yeah, man, that's how I'm seeing it now. I'm thinking it's like a concerted effort to keep Black people this way, to where we don't think intellectually. And I like how the brother was talking about the men, especially. Man, they are making our men very emotional and illogical. I mean, some of the brothers I have a conversation with, I can't even have a conversation with politically. They find out you're a conservative, just like, oh, you a coon, you a sellout. It's like the third graders talk about each other's mothers and stuff. It's childish.
You haven't been on some of the hangouts we've been on.
Oh man, good grief. we
but
see
and here's the thing, and that's why I said, and I keep coming back to this. It's going to take men being men. It's also going to take men eating crap, because I saw someone say ABL has the patience of a saint. You have to have a lot of patience on this side.
Yes, lots.
Oh, heck yeah.
A lot of patience. But the thing is, the payoff is there, because even though the person you're locked horns with may call you everything but a child of God, people out there are thirsting for men to be men, everyone to be the best versions of themselves, and other people around see. It helps. It just doesn't feel like it. But look at where we're at today. Where did this start at? I don't know, but it probably started in some of those things. We will continue to seek our normal people, our regular folks, our men, our women. We just got to make it safe for everybody. Come on out. Now let's do this.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and I don't think Black people should be afraid of expressing a viewpoint and be very unapologetic. I mean, when I'm dealing with liberals, I'm very unapologetic. I don't care what they say about me. I say, so what? This is my policy. I don't agree with it. If you're whining about it, so what? I don't care. I mean, and I'm not trying to say rude, but it's just I don't care anymore. And I think a lot of us, especially I see a lot of Republicans, especially, they tend to apologize, to try to look like, I'm not like the rest of these Black conservatives or whatever. I'm just like, don't be that way. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. And I totally agree with y'all. If you hold your ground and you're very articulate and you're logical in what you say, you will bring people towards you, because especially when you are debating someone, you're not really debating that person. You are trying to convince the audience who is watching. And I notice a lot of times when I debate people, I get people in my inbox who are not even conservatives, but agree with what I'm saying because they've never seen that viewpoint before. While the other person is calling you names, you know, meaning you. It's just so childish. I mean, it's just, I've never seen it before.
I know, man. I know.
You know what I'm saying? And it's such disrespect, too. It's just like the level of disrespect. I mean, just wishing you to be dead. And then what's so slick about the media, too, especially, I don't even understand how black people, how a lot of our people, especially the liberals, watch the media as if they're our ally. And the way the media does to try to reel a black conservative line, they don't have a white person do it because they don't want him to look racist. But, you know, they will pay off a black liberal who will write on the root of all these other black media outlets to attack that black person, to call them all types of names. And to me, that's just so frustrating because I can't name one outlet that an African-American owns that white people that hires white people that uses that outlet to have white people attack their own people. But most of these liberal outlets that are owned by white liberals that's not owned by black people, these outlets are used to attack your own people to keep them in line with liberalism. And that just frustrates me. I'm just like, how are we allowing ourselves to be used like that?
Well, it's easy to attack. Like I've told ABLs, and, you know, and here's the thing, ABL and I don't agree with some of the things ABL has to say. We've had open disagreements, but I respect the man. And it's funny that I feel my point is we have to find each other and bolster each other up. And it's easy to pick each other off one-on-one because when it's you fighting the world and you fighting that mess you're talking about, the black community that we just described, it's easy to rain down on you when you got to get in your car, go back home and be frustrated. But if you had even cyberly people around you, a community that at least had your back, you didn't feel so alone, you could fight that fight with a different sense of purpose because you're like, you can call me what I want to, but I know thousands of more people just like me. I talk to them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree, especially expanding your horizon. And just the last point I want to make, especially because, you know, I tell, you know, black liberals, this all especially the extreme ones who constantly, you know, calling black conservatives all types of names. You know, you cannot sit here and call for unity. You know, they talk about black people coming together and everything when you're calling one segment of the population coons. And then you wonder why they don't want to affiliate with you, because a lot of black people who some of them are raised in white neighborhoods, they don't deal with black people on a daily. But when they come around black people and you're calling them all types of names, you're a coon, you talk white, that does not make these black people want to deal with us even more. It builds up this perception where I don't even want to affiliate with my own at all. And that is the divide right there. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I hear that word, my automatic retort is, I've never met a broke or an unsuccessful coon. So you've launched your biggest bullet. Next.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, so say the coon's got the money. I'm just like, and I understand, like, here you got a class that has the money. Like, we could actually do something, but instead you want to sit there and separate them out, just cut them out from the entire. It's almost as if it's a jealousy of an African American who's a conservative who has a lot of money. It's like something is wrong with him. You know, he's hanging out with white people or something. It's like he should be struggling like the rest of us. He's talking articulately. Like this type of mentality.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I mean, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, interrupt you, but that's what it is. It's a lot of jealousy going on. It's a lot of envy going on. Really, I think at the end of the day, the people that call us coons, Uncle Toms, or whatever, they would do anything in the world to be in our position, to be able to be as successful as we are, to be able to have the amount of fans or whatever the case may be. They want to be us, but they feel like they can't. It's a lot of lack of self-esteem and emotionalism that's preventing them from being able to go to that next level. So what's the best thing you could do when you cannot attain what someone else has? Is to try and fight them, to try and destroy them, to try to remove them from your presence so you don't got to compete with them. But, hey, man, it's been a great call. It's been a great show, but I got to go ahead and wrap up, man. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Take care.
All right, now. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
blown away.
I know, man. I didn't think it was gonna be. Yeah, we got to talk about this another time. But that was great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you, man. I think everybody enjoyed it. We were keeping a lot of people in here, like over 220. You know, we still got 3 more people calling. I'm sorry to y'all calling, but we got to go ahead and wrap up. It's been a good show. We're gonna come back and do it again, you know, here soon. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted whenever I'm gonna get Kevin back on the line. You know, I know a lot of people still want to talk to him and talk to us about the situation. So we'll be back. But go ahead and tell them how to contact you, how to find you, and your personal, you know, your information.
You know, first off, shout out to ABL. You know, ABL, I don't know if you guys know, but just like there are no really few black male heterosexual faces in fashion on YouTube, there are not many black male stand-up conservative guys on YouTube. So it takes a lot of slings and arrows. I hate seeing them take them, even if I don't agree with them on everything else. I respect them as a man. So you guys have a great channel to tune in here. I watch the chat, and you guys are everything that people would want to be: respectful, kind, cordial, appreciative. So thank you guys for having me here. You can find me on my YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind, go check out my channel, subscribe. Even if you don't think you dig fashion and fragrance, my channel is a lot about being a man. And I also do women too. Everybody being the best versions of themselves is a better place. So check me out on my YouTube channel. Also, you can check me out on my website at bykevinsamuels.com. And again, thanks for having me on, ABL. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, man. So look forward to the next one. And everybody out there in the chat, if you're not subscribed to my Discord, please go ahead and subscribe right now. I think we got like 40 people in there, 50 people in there. So go ahead and subscribe to Discord. So if you want to keep talking to each other, you know, you got 218 people in here. So if you guys want to keep the conversation going amongst yourselves, go to my Discord server. And I'm going to put the link for that right there in the chat box. It's also in the description box below. And subscribe to my ABL gaming channel. I'll put a link to that right there in the chat box, also in the description box below. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Anthony B. Logan. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. Also follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/1776 Logan. The links for that are in the description box. So that'll be a wrap for us. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. Peace.
Peace. Wow.